Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Hit or Miss. If you're new to my channel or new to the Hit or Miss series, I cover boxing video games and determine whether it belongs on my boxing video game pound for pound list. The current game being covered is also challenging for the boxing video game championship. The current boxing video game champion is Victorious Boxer's Ipu's Road to Glory, which was covered in episode 1 of the series. I encourage you to go watch the previous episodes if you haven't already. Before I continue, I want to thank everyone who has viewed any of my videos, liked, commented, and subscribed. I appreciate all of your support. I am very excited for what the future holds for this channel. But now, let's get started. This is Hit or Miss. Fight Night 2004 was developed by NewFX and published by EA Sports and was released in, yeah, you guessed it, 2004. Fight Night was released on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Fight Night features 3 game modes which include Play Now, where you select a fighter and an opponent from the roster, you choose a venue, how many rounds, and play against a CPU or with another person. Fight Night 2004 also had an online game mode which I didn't get to try out as this game is 19 years old, but I would have loved to play this online and get my ass absolutely handed to me. Before I get into the career mode, I wanted to mention the amazing roster this game features. You have the likes of Ali and Frazier, Roy Jones, Holyfield, Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ward, Gotti, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Shane Mosley, all the sugars you want. Fight Night did not fuck with artificial sweeteners, just the real shit. The third game mode is career mode. If you browse through my channel, then you know that I talked about Fight Night 2004's career mode in a previous video where I went through all the Fight Night games career modes and chose which one was my favorite. If you want to check that video out, please feel free to do so. In career mode, you can choose an existing boxer or create your own. If you choose to create your own, you start off by naming your fighter, selecting a nickname, hometown, weight class, height, body type, body mass, stance, and style. You then choose your fighter's skin tone, hairstyle, hair color, hair bright, eyebrows, eye color, facial hair color, and facial hair bright. The customization in 2004 is impressive. You can even change the shape of your head and face, and honestly, it's really good for the first fight night. Once you are done creating your fighter, you can start choosing your attire. But wait a moment, you only get 2 options for gloves to start off because just like me, in real life, you're broke. The options are black gloves or red to start off, but as you progress through the career mode and earn more V-Bucks, money, you can purchase a variety of attire in different colors and patterns. Also, if you want to be tatted up, you can. In the career central page, you can schedule fights, attend your training session, which you only get 1 prior to every fight, and you earn skill points to allocate towards your stats. You can also view your rankings, purchase attire in the fight store, and view your trophy case. Before we get into Fight Night's gameplay, I have an announcement. I have a new series coming soon called Hit or Miss Micro. This new series will come in the form of YouTube Shorts. Hit or Miss Micro follows the same premise as Hit or Miss, with the exception that games covered on Hit or Miss Micro will be mainly older boxing games, such as any boxing games on the NES, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Boy Advance. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell and don't miss out on this new micro series. Now let's get on with the rest of this video. The gameplay in Fight Night 2004 is my favorite by far in Hit or Miss. Every big shot you land feels impactful, and the pace differentiates a lot from fight to fight. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time, regardless of the fighting style of my opponent, I would just walk them down and land combinations until I would eventually knock them down. Pulling off 5 combinations feels great and significant. My favorite thing about the Fight Night series in general is having the ability to pulling off combinations that I train a lot in real life, and I definitely get that satisfaction from Fight Night 2004. Blocking and parrying feels really good as well. I enjoyed catching a punch and letting off a combination or landing an uppercut. I would have opponents that I would demolish in a few rounds, and other fights I would get knocked down twice a round until I lost. I feel like for an older Fight Night title, this game made me think and change my approach at times, and I commend Fight Night for that. My biggest complaint, and one of very few, is the footwork. I honestly felt like every fighter had the exact same movement. I never felt like I could float like a butterfly. If you're dealing with an opponent that moves a lot, it's really easy to corner them and spam them with body shots. If you are on the defensive and are moving to avoid your opponent until you recover, it's rare that you'll get cornered or even hit. The best thing about Fight Night 2004 in my opinion are the ragdolls. It's extremely satisfying scoring a knockdown, and if you have your opponent up against a corner and they can't fall, you can land even more shots while they're on their way down, and it feels so brutal. It felt like an accomplishment to land additional punches on the way down. There's also this level of intensity that I felt when both my fighter and my opponent had low health, and we were both 1 punch away from getting dropped. I felt like I really had to pick my shots and watch carefully where to block and parry. I think my biggest disappointment with Fight Night 2004 is how rare the flash knockdowns are. They're so rare that after playing for 30 plus hours, I didn't see a single one, so that was kind of disappointing. Fight Night 2004 is an amazing game, and it's the game I've played for the most in the series. Did Fight Night 2004 do enough to sway the judges and become the new boxing video game champion? Before I continue, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, jab that notification bell, and let me know in the comments which game you would like to see covered in Hit or Miss. Fight Night 2004 is undoubtedly a top tier boxing video game, and I think it has done enough to take the W on a split decision. Fight Night 2004 is now the new boxing video game champion. We now have a new king at the top. But as always, there is a new challenger. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hit or Miss. See you in the next one.